Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Lakers Lens podcast, episode 11, which is also my favorite number. I'm your host, Matt Hollenbeck, joined by my co-host, Max Arquilla.
What's up, everyone? Let's go. I like the intro.
Yep. Favorite number 11, baby. It was either, for me, it was like 11 or 4.
Can I just say the soundtrack, too, to the intro is really good for this podcast? Yeah. Like, I think that's really sick, underrated. Huh? We deserve more credit for that. Like,
Yeah, no, I don't think it'll get copyrighted, though. It's like a copyright-free track, so I don't know.
Nice.
I think it's a cool little intro.
No, me too. I like it a lot.
But yeah, not a lot of action since we recorded last, as far as gameplay goes. A lot of off-the-court stuff to talk about. But I think we can briefly glance over the Pacers game. And then we'll get into... We have 5 games on the slate this week, Monday through Sunday. 5 games, 2 back-to-backs. So we'll get into that in a little bit more depth. But let's go over that Pacers game first. First game back from the All-Star break, Friday, March 12th. Lakers 105, Pacers 100. Brogdon had a nice little night, 29, 7, and 6.
He was great.
Yeah. Dougie McBuckets, the guy I talk about, the type of shooter that we need.
Yeah, you've always wanted him, I feel like, on the Lakers.
It's not him specifically, but it's like
that
what
type
he brings.
of player.
Yeah.
Svi McKinley, dude. Sorry.
Well, yeah, he's gone.
Got rid of him.
Sabonis 20, 14, and 8. Definitely could have played better. I mean,
still solid.
That's pretty much it on that side. Lakers, LeBron kind of took a back seat, which is kind of nice. 18, 10, and 3. Schroeder 11, 5, and 4. Harrell 17 and 6. And the player of the night, Kyle Kuzma, 24 and 13.
Yes, sir.
Really
Huge.
good performance from Kuzma. What did you see? What stuck out for you?
Well, Kuzma is the biggest thing, and I tweeted something about Kuzma as well, and I was really hard on Kuzma early in this podcast, and I still stand by what I said. I think I was expecting more out of the gate from him, and he started a little slow. But you could see he started to do, the hustle plays and the offensive rebounds and those little things. Even defensively, he looked really good. And he just kept that up. And, now his scoring's starting to come to him. And, it's exciting to see. And, this is what I wanted. And I still want more from him, offensively. I mean, like the other things he's doing are excellent. I still think we're going to need him. Kind of like you were just talking about, that guy like that you want the Lakers to get, like the McDermott and, the Clarksons, those guys that can just, score off the bench. And I don't know, I want Kuzma to kind of be that. I want him to be everything. I want him to be that, like keep doing what he's doing, but also be that guy that can, put 20, 25 up and 10 rebounds like he did against the Pacers. So that was my biggest takeaway. I thought it was a great team win. Harrell looked pretty good as well. We needed him big, especially against Miles Turner and Sabonis. So two good big men. Also, I wanted to ask you what you thought about Damian Jones. He only had 1 rebound, I think. That was a little. Yeah. He had a rough performance. So what did you think?
I don't know. I think we could go back to like what you were saying last week.
Expectation. Right.
I mean, let's not forget, this isn't like, just because we got him doesn't mean he's like a a great player or anything.
Score.
He's bounced around a little bit. I think he was on the Raptors a couple,
Hawks.
1 or 2 years ago. Hawks.
He's young, dude. 25, I think.
Yeah. I think when you see him starting like that, it's obviously because Gasol's out too, but
and against Miles Turner and Sabonis, that's a tough matchup, dude.
Right. Yeah, and I think like we got a little excited about the starting position. It's like, he's going to play really well. Like, let's not forget he's on the second half of a 10-day contract. Like,
yeah, and no one had signed him, so.
Right.
For a reason.
But he is like a skinny dude, and he's not super physical. And I think that was reflected in like the rebounds. You know, it's just like he has trouble like boxing out, like being physical with these other big guys, especially like Sabonis is like a tough dude, you know. Turner's, you know, long as hell and 7 whatever.
And those guys are gonna box you out, man. Like that's part of the reason he probably didn't get a lot of rebounds. I mean, those guys are disciplined rebounders, you know.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what I chalk it up to. But I wanted to add to what you said about Kuz. Yeah, just really impressive. I think he had that like I can't remember if it was the early 4th or late 3rd. He had like 8 points in a row or something like that. Yeah. Just on fire from beyond the arc, and
his shot looked smooth. He looked like he just was relaxed. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like when he was shooting his threes, like, and I hope that's a good sign going forward. You know, maybe he's finding his groove finally, and he's gonna pick a little heat here. Going forward, and that's what we got to hope for, because that will be huge with AD now. We should probably talk about that news. Well, I don't know if we're going to talk about it later, but 3+ weeks potentially for AD to be out. So we're going to really need Kuzma.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a sec, but I just wanted to also add, you know, you look at these kind of nights when it's Kuzma 24, 25, 21. Typically, LeBron's not scoring over 20, 25 in those games. What does it take for us to see both of them have like 20+ night? Not saying that LeBron can't when Kuzma does, but it seems like Kuzma only does that when LeBron isn't scoring 20+. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I like Kuzma being kind of running more with the bench unit, and I think Vogel has done a good job recently with, he could be starting Kuzma these games, a couple games, and he hasn't been. He's still having him come off the bench, which surprised a lot of people, but I think he was effective. I mean, it kind of showed, and I think it's just you're taking even more pressure off of him because he's not really with LeBron as much. And sometimes I feel like he overthinks maybe with LeBron and he wants to do well with him. And, I just remember we always talk about Kuzma, like back in the day, like when he was really good on the Lakers, he was with a bunch of young guys, Luke Walton's offense, like just kind of free play and like run around. And that's when he played really well. So I'm starting to see the older Kuz on offense. And it's like with that energy, like fast breaking, going that one, he had the nice Euro step, like, that's the Kuzma we remember, and I think Vogel's realizing that, and he's instead of just having him start, I think he's going to be, him and Harrell on that second unit can be really deadly together.
Yeah, totally agree. And just looking at the minutes, I mean, Keith started and Damian Jones started, and they played a combined 35 minutes, and Trez and Kuzma off the bench played 62 minutes. So it's like we're kind of into that space right now where it's like our benches, those two spots, like especially center, are just, it's like put that whoever is on a 10-day contract or Gasol in at center, and then bring in Trez as soon as we can, sort of thing.
I hope we can get Drummond so we can just solve a lot of...
Let's talk about that. I mean... Look,
man.
Before we get into this week with 5 games, let's talk about if we're going to have our injuries, but more importantly, what is our big man spot looking like as far as adding people, AD, when's he coming home, like what's going on?
Yeah, so AD, there's a report that he may be out 3+ weeks now. So the original, update came on... right before they played the Pacers, it was that he'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks.
Which is the second one, right?
What was that?
I think it's the second reevaluation.
Yes. And so now there's a report that like came out that it's probably going to be like they're predicting it's probably going to be 3+ weeks.
Yeah, what was the specific wording? 3 weeks and beyond, potentially?
Yes, weeks and beyond, yep.
Like,
I know, you didn't
mean?
like that wording.
Like, that could mean so many things. Is it
No, I think it
season?
just means... I don't think it means like he's out for the season. It's just...
No, we really can't complain because people said the same, like you've said this before about Durant, like...
Yeah.
People want him to come back, but then we say
force it.
when he gets hurt, it's like it was too soon. So it's like,
just
what do we
don't
really
force
want?
it. It's not worth it. Like, we're good enough to just... We're going to make the playoffs. Like, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I mean, yeah, we want to be a higher seed. I mean, I shouldn't say it's not all that matters. But, you know, with our talent, getting AD back, I think we'll be okay if we drop to the 4th seed.
Right.
Or 5th seed even. Yeah.
Which could potentially, like, you see it happen sometimes where, like, exactly the same situation where, like, your best player gets injured and you drop down low, and then you have an easier seed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
When the player comes back. But obviously that also comes with, like, being rusty and, like, even when he came back the first time this season, he was rusty as hell, and we talked about that. So
they're going to need to give him some time to play to get back into shape for then playoffs. So remember that. I mean, it's fine he's taking time off, but he better have I would say a month at least of playing before playoffs to get him ramped up and ready.
So. I'll say I'm not a doctor, obviously, but the part that scares me is how does it go from 2 weeks, another 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks?
I
like,
agree.
Did he get more
that's
hurt?
what's freaking me out a little bit too. Yeah, like, or is it not progressing? Like, you know, then maybe it's like something that this could. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to think the worst. I think. I don't know. I think he'll be okay. I think they're just being extra cautious, and maybe it's just progressing slower than they thought, but it's still progressing. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that calf is not you don't really want to mess around with that.
Yeah.
Especially so close to the Achilles. But tell me about what's going on at center.
Well, I don't think they're super satisfied with Marc Gasol. And, you know, you see they're in the market for a big man. If that's Hassan Whiteside, there were some reports that came out that were interested in him. And hopefully a buyout with the Kings. But he's also coming off an injury, I believe. But, you know, our main target needs to be Andre Drummond. I mean, the second that guy gets bought out, Pelinka better be on the phone saying, we will give everything to have you. We will give you everything. We'll give you a personal masseuse. We'll give you, you know, free Chick-fil-A gift cards. Like, I mean, like, you know, whatever you need to do behind the table, get this guy in LA so we can win a damn championship and stop hearing about this freaking Brooklyn Nets, man. I am telling you, we need this, dude. This is so huge. He's literally so talented. He's one of the best centers in the league, best rebounder, one of the best shot blockers. I mean, he's a monster. Put him with AD. No one's driving on us. Teams are going to have to beat us from 3, and we have good perimeter defenders. When we're locked in, I mean, it changes your whole defensive dynamic. Changes everything.
What were you saying earlier today? You sent me a tweet. It was like they're looking for a 2nd-round pick or something.
Oh, yeah. Like, I guess that's what the asking price is, because remember, the Cavs want to trade him, and they don't want to buy him out because they want to get something for him. But the problem is he has a $27 million cap hit this year, so no teams want to trade for him. They're like, we're not going to give something up, get that contract. We'll just we'll just wait, and you can call your bluff and buy him out and hopefully pick him up for cheaper. And that's what the Lakers can't afford that. So. Yeah, they're just waiting like vultures, and if he goes to the Nets, because the Nets can sign him, which is what's scary if he gets bought out. And according to Shams and The Athletic, the two teams that are the favorite to land him, that are his designations, are the Nets and Lakers. Like, that's scary, man. Like, if he goes to the Nets, dude, I don't know, man.
Well, I don't want to call you out, but I think it was 2 weeks ago you said we were talking about Blake Griffin going to the Nets, and you weren't even really worried. But if Drummond goes, you're worried?
Yeah, I mean, I still think Griffin's going to give them something else. I don't think it's going to be as big of an impact as Drummond would, or as big of an impact as some people think. I think he's going to be a lot better than he was, and I think he's going to have more motivation because he wants to win a championship, and he's on a good team. So, and he's going to get a lot of open looks and attention because, well, all the attention's going to be on, that big three. So, I think he'll be solid. I'm not as high on him as you are, but if they get Drummond, that's going to kill us. Because then they have then they can put him on AD, and it's just, it's not good, man. Not good.
That's not even fun, dude. It's like,
I know, it's stupid.
It's like, okay, KD leaves Golden State to get away from a super team or whatever, for whatever reason he left.
Yeah.
And now he's on another one. And if they add Drummond, that's the best super team of all time.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, you have 5 real all-stars. Like, you could say Draymond was an all-star, but not really. Like,
it's ridiculous. Yep.
Yeah. It's let's talk about Whiteside. I mean, let's be honest, he's a shell of his former self. He used to be a double-double machine, and he's just not the same player anymore.
He's not the same, but, if it comes down to it, I'll take him. I mean, why not? There's no one else available. So, I mean, if Drummond we can't get, if he gets traded, or, the Nets sign him, or some other team signs him in the buyout, like, we're screwed. Like, but, okay, maybe not, we're not screwed, but I'm saying it's a huge loss,
right,
going from Drummond to Whiteside. He's just not as good. It's that simple,
Yeah. As far as injuries go, tough news.
Ooh, yeah.
Dudley, torn MCL.
Yep. MCL or meniscus? MCL?
It says MCL here.
Okay.
Which is worse.
And Caruso.
I mean, Caruso slammed his head on the ground.
Concussion, mild
concussion.
Not good,
so
dude.
we're just dropping like flies. I mean, not that Dudley was super, impactful, but like
he still makes a difference.
Morale.
Like, I don't know if because he has to get surgery now, so he won't be with the team for a while. But when he's with the team, he's a good locker room presence.
Yeah, for sure. And just the bench is going to be shorter. It's like
exactly
having a full team on the bench.
So
like,
true.
It's easier to play that way.
And Caruso out too. That's another body.
Yeah, man. But we'll see what happens. So let's get into. Is that all you want to talk about as far as like off-season stuff, or not off-season, off the court stuff?
That's good.
Okay, cool. When do you think this is gonna play out as far as Drummond goes? If you had to predict. Seems like the tweets are picking up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll get bought out. I don't think a team wants to pick up that contract, and they know he's not assured to stay with the team long term. And I did see one report today though that kind of freaked me out. It was that the Knicks are interested in signing Drummond to a long-term deal if he gets bought out. So that freaks me out, because if Drummond gets bought out and he can get security elsewhere for a nice contract that the Knicks can afford, I mean, think of it in this situation. He's going to be still getting paid money from the Cavs and then just going to get a bomb long-term security like blanket. I mean, that freaks me out a little bit.
If he wants to keep losing, I mean, look at his teams.
No, I know. Maybe
Pistons,
he's just money hungry.
Cavs, and Knicks.
Money hungry, maybe, dude. Like,
yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
We'll see. If he wants to win, he knows where to go.
Exactly.
If he wants to win honorably and not on a super team, then he'll come to the Lakers.
Yep.
But let's jump into tonight in an hour and a half or so. Lakers Warriors. I think it's our third game, maybe the fourth game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's the third because I think we split.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we talked briefly about it last week, but Warriors always Curry is kind of like the catalyst no matter what. Like,
Yep.
if he's on, he's it's tough to beat that team. It's tough to beat him.
Mm-hmm. And they just beat the Jazz.
Yeah.
And I watched that game. They played well, man. I mean, Wiggins is a good perimeter defender. He could really, I don't know. I still think LeBron can eat him alive, but I don't know. They're playing really good basketball. I mean, for the most part, they're a little inconsistent. They beat good teams and then they lose like randomly. They got killed. Yeah, they got destroyed by the Clippers. Lost by like 30 something, and they just beat the Jazz easy. Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Draymond had a triple-double yesterday. Wiggins had 28. Curry had 32.
Yeah.
And then, Oubre only had 7. And then it could be any of those
Wiseman
flipped.
Solid.
Yeah, Wiseman played well. So we'll see. I think they like to shoot the 3, which is, for whatever reason, kills us this year.
Yeah, our perimeter defense is lacked.
It's not even... Well, we also just get made on a lot. Like, people just make the shots for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They just make more shots against us. But what are you looking for on the Lakers side as far as, individual players? Because our lineups, it might be like Friday, right? Except for... Yeah, starting lineup. Probably the same, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the same.
So what do you want to see out of a couple players?
So I want to see Kuzma just roll over how he played last game into this one. Again, just be aggressive, I hope he's starting to find his groove, and I hope we see that. And I think this will be a good game. I have a feeling it's going to be a close game for some reason. I think it's going to be kind of back and forth. I think the Warriors, they're coming off a double back to back. So everyone might be like, oh, they might be tired, and Lakers, got it, some rest. But I don't know. I still think they're confident right now. The Warriors, and beating the Jazz, I think it gives them a little chip on their shoulder. I think they're gonna come out, with a fight. It's a nationally televised game. I think it's going to be both teams are going to go at it. So I'm looking for Kuzma and Harrell. I want kind of a rollover from last game scoring wise. I want to see Harrell come off the bench. I want to see him get more action inside. And again, I another guy that I really want to see thrive tonight is THC. I feel like. How much did he have against the Pacers? Do you have that?
I think it was 7.
Yeah, see, I want to see a little more from him. I'm hoping for that, and with Caruso out, he's going to get more minutes. So I'm also looking at THT tonight to really try to make a difference, offensively and defensively. I think defensively he struggled this year, but he has those long arms. Try to be active. Get your hands in passing lanes. And we're gonna need him against Curry. Schroeder's gonna take him a lot of the night, but I'm sure there'll be times THT will be in, and you never know what lineups are gonna be against who. So gotta be prepared for anything. And if THT gets on Curry, I guarantee they're gonna run something for Curry. So you gotta be ready for those things. So I hope defensively we come locked in and get out on shooters and defensively, I want to see a big performance from us tonight.
Just hearing you talk about Curry Schroeder matchup, I think you were saying a couple weeks ago how Schroeder does pretty well against big name guards offensively.
He's a great defender.
Yeah, he really steps it up. But on the other side, Curry's not particularly known for his defense.
Yeah.
By any stretch of the means.
Good call.
And Schroeder can,
Expose
he's
that.
used to playing against. They're both smaller guards, right? So, if Schroeder can compete with like these bigger built up guards and get to the rim still, look for Schroeder to kind of expose Curry's size himself.
Get him in foul trouble, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be a good thing to target. Let's go at it, Curry. Make him work on defense. Tire him out a little bit. I don't know. Let's come at Curry.
Yeah.
He's their team. I mean, if he has a bad night, which is pretty rare that Curry's gonna have a bad night. But I remember we played them recently, and we contained Curry pretty well, and we won. So. Again, I think that's why defensively, I really want to see an effort from everyone tonight. And Damian Jones, let's see something from him tonight. He's got Wiseman. I want to see that battle. I want to see him step up and battle him tonight.
Yeah. Totally.
That's my thoughts.
And then I hope. I'm not saying I expect this, but I'm predicting that Draymond gets ejected.
You think? He always gets ejected.
Just a random prediction that like someone's gonna piss him off, like Trez is gonna piss him off, and
I can see that for sure. Like a fight. I can see like a fight tonight or something, maybe.
Yeah, let's.
A little chippy.
Why not? Yeah, sure. But yeah, guys, we're gonna cover the rest of this week's games right after a quick break, so we'll get right back to you in a minute. All right, bye. Welcome back, everybody, to the Lakers Lens podcast, second half. You see what I did there, Max? Second half.
Yep.
Like a game.
Like it.
Third quarter. So, you think we're going to squeak this one out tonight, by the way?
Yes. I think it'll be a close game, but we'll pull it out.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you think so?
Short road trip in Golden State or in San Francisco. Yeah, why not? Sure. If Kuzma plays well, we're gonna win. At this point, that's how it is.
Yep.
But then tomorrow, we're going home, hosting the Timberwolves, who are just an awful team. But hey, you know how we play against bad teams.
Yeah.
Especially this season, we kind of play down to our competition. And Timberwolves just beat the Trailblazers. They beat the Pelicans by 30. I like the new guy, Anthony Edwards. He's a player.
He's nice.
They've got Cat, who's not really the same.
Not playing, yeah.
That's pretty much it, dude. They're pretty bad.
Deloading, but he's not.
Yeah, my boy Ricky Rubio.
Yeah.
What do you think about that game?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna beat him heftily. So the reason being is the Timberwolves are one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA, and I think that we're gonna be able to neutralize them defensively. And all you need to do is just go out there and play. They're gonna put points on the board. The Lakers are gonna score no matter what. Right. I just think they, Schroeder, I think he can absolutely dominate against them. So I think it's a game that might be one of those, we just need to come out with energy offensively and go in transition, get out and run. I want to see a lot of that this game. And if we just do that, I think we win this game easily. I know the whole thing about playing, against bad teams, or playing bad against bad teams, but I just think we're better, and I think we're starting to find our groove. I think the Pacers are a good team. They're better than people think. And, without AD, I know we don't like him, but Gasol, Caruso got hurt in that game. We beat them. We beat a good Pacers team. They're solid. They're a playoff team. So, I think we're okay against the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you saw, I think it was, the last time we played the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, like, and I've said this before, like, hits a 3 over LeBron, like, smiles, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's a big moment for him. You know he's going to come out just firing.
Yeah. But one guy...
No, yeah.
You know?
I don't... He's not, like, a star by any means, but he scored 34 last night.
Yeah. He's a nice rookie.
He's excited to play. It's not going to be enough.
Exactly.
And I think we're at a point where it's like we kind of understand that we just cannot, with all the injuries and dropping, standing points, we just can't afford to lose these gimme games.
Yep, exactly. We have to take these seriously.
Right. It's like we always look forward to the playoffs and we're like, we're going to probably be the third, fourth, whatever. Mm-hmm. But that includes these games that against bad teams.
And our schedule's tough second half. We have a tough second half schedule.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good teams we play. So, you really have to focus in on these games. You can't take nights off. Just go out there and just be focused and play basketball.
Right. But at the same time, you say, like, don't take nights off, but that means if we want to keep LeBron healthy and rested for the playoffs, we need to come out hot.
Yep.
So we can give him a rest.
Yeah,
right?
And that means those other players need to play their asses off. The younger guys on the team got to play their asses. Like, we need you guys. Like, we're calling THT. You need to be giving everything you have, diving on the floor, making those effort plays like Kuzma's doing to win these games. Exactly. And then come playoff time, you'll still have that juice because you're young. And LeBron can have a little weight off his shoulders. He can't be trying to carry us the second half. Like, he just can't. We can't get in a position where come playoff time, LeBron's just carried so much load. He's so many miles, and you can just tell he's gassed out there. And then AD's back, but he's not 100%. Like, we can't have that.
Yeah.
So it's so vital that our young guys step up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we will squeak that one out as well. Not squeak. I think we're going to win that, like you said.
Yeah.
Pretty easily. But we get Wednesday off. Thursday, March 18th. A game I'm really excited for personally. And I personally, let me just say now, I think we're going to lose against the Hornets.
Oh, finally we play him.
Yep, LaMelo Ball. And in fact, they're losing right now to, I don't know who. But they're a 500 team. Mm-hmm. They're losing to the Kings right now. But, like, yesterday, they scored 44 points in the first quarter against the Raptors. Like,
LaMelo's so good, dude.
Yeah, LaMelo 23, 9, and 6.
Dude, how does he get just those stats every game, dude? It's insane. That's their thing. Like, dude.
They literally just run. All they do is just run LaMelo, Terry, Malik Monk, and Devontae Graham. Just, here, do whatever you want.
It's
pass the ball to Gordon Hayward sometimes.
But, like, to get that many assists and that many rebounds, like, consistently, and now he's scoring 20 a game easily, too. Like, what? Like, I mean, I know the guy's good, but I said this is my bold take of the night, guys, and I know you'll probably think I'm crazy. If you could tell, if I had my own NBA team right now, and they're like, you could get one young star to be the face of your franchise going forward, Zion Williamson or LaMelo Ball, I'd pick LaMelo Ball.
All right.
You need scoring from the perimeter nowadays. And a guy like him makes everyone better on the floor. Zion doesn't necessarily... He does by just scoring and dominating the boards and bullying guys, but is he really a playmaker? Is he a guy you can give the ball at the end of the game and say, win it for us? LaMelo's that guy, but he can also win it for you by shooting with, right down your throat, but also passing. So
exactly.
That's my thoughts. And so, not to cut you off, but I actually agree with you. I think we're going to lose to the Hornets as well. I think they're just a young team. I think They're going to come out with a lot of energy, wanting to beat us, play up to our level. And it's going to be a game where a couple of these injuries are going to catch up to us.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, tons of energy, and they can just throw anyone at you. I mean, they have so many players on their team.
Bridges.
The Martin twins. Devontae Graham, Malik Monk,
Hayward.
Yeah, Scary Terry. They just love their guards, man, and they just move around the perimeter.
They're fun to watch.
Yeah, they are fun to watch. And I guess my kind of hot take regarding LaMelo is he is what Lonzo should have been.
Yep. It hurts.
What Lonzo should have been.
Why couldn't the brothers just be switched? And then we would have a franchise quarterback. Jeez, I'm thinking of football because all the free agency stuff today. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Franchise point guard along with LeBron and AD probably.
This just helps my argument about Lonzo. We talked before the podcast ever existed, but what's the difference between them two?
Lonzo and LaMelo?
Yeah, besides mentally, I mean.
LaMelo's a way better shooter, just in general.
No, like rookie season mentally, what's the difference?
Oh, mentally?
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of LeVar Ball's pressure on Lonzo that he put on Lonzo because he was the first Ball brother, and all the brothers were super good and all thought they would all make the NBA, and he was the first one to kind of set the stage, and that's a lot of pressure. And sometimes when you're the oldest sibling, I think he felt a lot of that, and you can thank his idiot of a father for doing that. Just so did I tell you that Jen's my girlfriend, guys, by the way, so if I ever talk about Jen, that's who she is. But she actually was at IHOP, and LeVar Ball just walked in.
Really?
Yeah, and just was eating right by her. Pretty crazy.
You know what's funny is we just never hear about him anymore.
Yeah, right? It is weird. What happened?
Stop talking. I don't know.
After Lonzo, he just did it for Lonzo.
Yeah.
Or just to start his brand, and then. Yeah, but anyways.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways. Exciting game. I think we're gonna come up short. I just think they're gonna pour it in from 3.
I agree. I'm right with you.
But yeah, here on the podcast, we just gotta keep it realistic. We can't be making stuff up. But that's it's sort of a hot take. Obviously we're a better team.
Yeah.
But like you said, injuries might catch up and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then another day off. We go down to. No, we're going back home. No, we're staying home. Versus the Atlanta Hawks, which we beat them the first time we played them.
Yes. Yep.
What do you think about the Hawks?
Alfonso McKinney will drop 20 points in that game.
All right, man.
That is my prediction. Dude, I'm telling you,
the
man.
Hottest take
Watch for
time.
Alfonso McKinney minutes coming up in these next few games. You're going to be surprised. He's going to beat out that Wes Matthews spot. That's something I actually wanted to touch on in all seriousness.
Wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
Before you do that, he didn't play. Was he hurt?
Wait, he played? What?
No, against the Pacers.
Oh, Wes Matthews played. You're right.
Yeah, guess what? He didn't really play. He stood on the court for 22 minutes.
Did Alfonso not play?
He's not even on the thing. He must have just not played.
Yeah, I don't think he played. I don't know. I still think we could see a switch. I don't know. At some point, I just have a feeling. I might be wrong. Maybe they don't trust him, but why not give him a shot, dude? I don't get it. So, yeah. But anyways, going to the Hawks game. Trae Young's going to be a tough cover. Again, I like the Schroeder matchup, though, just because Schroeder will get in his head. But I think he'll bait him into some fouls. That's what Trae Young just so annoying, dude.
Yeah, you hate that.
Oh, dude. I was just watching the Knicks game. Nets are destroying the Knicks right now, but Harden just keeps just flopping into guys, man. It's like, it's hard to watch, man. It's just terrible basketball. It's boring. I mean, I'm sorry, like, that's not basketball, dude. Like,
yeah.
Not to get in a James Harden rant, but it's just pathetic. So Trae Young will give us some issues regardless. I think he just always will. He's just that type of guy that does that to your team. I think he does that to everyone. So that'll be a tough matchup. Even though Schroeder's a little pest, it'll still be tough. And, I think it's going to be – I'm going to call for this being a close game as well. I think the Hawks are starting to play better now. I don't know if you saw. Ever since they fired their coach, they're starting to win games. So I think they're just playing well right now. So I think they're not going to come out and just fold. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I see this being a game where they're kind of up a lot of the game, and we're like kind of within 10, just like kind of hanging in there. And I think we'll make a late game run. And I think this is a game where we'll make that late game run and win, where LeBron kind of carries the team. And maybe Kuzma hits a couple threes. It's kind of just like a big comeback. We're right there, can't get over the hump, and then we do in the fourth or something. So that's kind of my prediction. So I think we'll win this in a close one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I just think they don't have enough. Unless Trae Young scores 45 points.
Which he can.
Which he definitely can, you're right. I don't see it happening.
Yeah. Vogel's good at guarding those types of guards, too.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember you telling me about, I think you sent me
the high double.
At one point.
Yeah, he runs that high double. He did against Harden last year in the playoffs where it's just whenever he's above the 3-point line, just bring that second defender and just force him to back up. So other guys have to beat you, basically. Take the ball out of their best player's hands. So I think they'll do that with Trae Young a little bit if he's feeling it.
Yeah. Totally. There's not much to say there.
Yeah.
It is, the only thing I will add is it's at 12:30 p.m. So
is that on Sunday?
That's on Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
Yeah. So
wait, do we play on Sunday too? I think we do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the next.
That's the fifth game.
Sweet.
But all I'm gonna say is don't go out Friday night. I'm talking about I know Kuzma likes to go out and party a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Caruso likes to go to the bar sometimes, but stay home, wake up early. Games at 12:30. That's all I have to say.
That's an interest. Is it ABC?
Probably. Let's see. No, it's on League Pass.
What? Wait.
And Spectrum.
Are you sure?
Of course. Yeah, that's what I see so far.
That's weird, dude.
Yeah, maybe there's something else going on at Staples. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe the Clippers play. That's why, dude. That's why. The Clippers play at 7:00.
How did we not get that primetime slot?
I don't know. I guess because they're playing LaMelo Ball.
Maybe.
Yeah, dude. What the heck? That's just so weird to me. Okay, anyways.
Yeah, it's gonna be an early morning, but they'll figure it out. Okay, and the fifth game of the 5-game week is a team that you think is a little underrated and probably better than I think, and that's the Suns. And we just lost to them last. Well, I hate the Suns.
I can't stand them. I think they're.
Well, you don't like Chris Paul.
Yeah, I don't like Chris Paul or Miles Bridges. Or Jay Crowder.
Bridges.
Oh, Crowder's so annoying, dude. Gosh, dude.
Yeah. But they're good. You can't deny that they're good.
They're a great team. I like Monty Williams. I think they're just fun. He's a phenomenal coach. I think he's such a good coach. He worked next to Greg Popovich. And I think they're very disciplined. When I think of the Suns, I think of it just a disciplined team, defensively especially, everyone on a string, team defense. That's what they did against us, and they wore us down. So I'm going to predict this as a loss, and I think this is going to cause a lot of outroar on Twitter. I think it's going to be a game that everyone's going to be like, oh my God, like the Suns own the Lakers. Like all the trolls will come out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's the fact that we're going to be on a back-to-back. I think LeBron, that's going to be tough for him. I could even see this being a game maybe if LeBron's a little banged up and they give him the night off and they say, you know what, we're playing a good team. We know LeBron's going to have to carry us. Let's just try to have the young guys go out there. I don't know if that's happening. It's just a random prediction, but I could see us just being a little tired in this game, and the Suns will expose you when you're tired. That's when they will kill you because they move the basketball. So don't want to play the Jazz or the Suns when you're tired.
Well, remember, too, guess who's a little upset that they didn't get to play last game?
Yeah.
Most of the game.
Devin Booker.
Your boy, Devin Booker.
Yep.
So he's going to want to finish what he started, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary to think about.
Yep.
Because when he gets going, I mean, we know KCP's a good defender, but is he Devin Booker good? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then you got all those guys, of course, that you talked about that are just, I mean, Chris Paul, just so annoying.
Yep.
Like, dude, we get it. You're the president of this whatever association. Like, cool, man. Sorry, I really don't like Chris Paul.
I don't me either, man. He's annoying.
But yeah, these other guys like Cameron Payne, just a nuisance on the court.
Oh, dude.
Like 8 steals a game.
So annoying.
Yeah, I like Ayton though. I think Ayton's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a cool guy. Like chill.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him.
But yeah, we lost. We lose.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
So we're the same, right? We predicted the same.
Yeah, but I wanted to add, I think we've seen it twice this year, is that, load management for LeBron on the doubleheader. We haven't, I mean, obviously we don't know this week yet, but don't be surprised if the second end of the maybe both of the doubleheaders. So tomorrow he doesn't play, don't be surprised. Or Sunday he doesn't play, or one or the other, right? So like Saturday, if he's not playing one of the 2 doubleheaders in a 5-game week, I wouldn't be surprised, and that changes a lot of things. Like for that game, like Timberwolves, maybe he doesn't play.
I don't know.
Depending on tonight, I mean,
yeah.
Why would he play against the Timberwolves? You know,
maybe because we don't want to. It's just gonna depend, dude. I don't know. I mean, it's also gonna depend how he's feeling. I mean, maybe he's a little more banged up one time than another time, and that's what decides it. Yeah. So.
Well, so I think we have 3-2 together.
Yep.
Do you want to give me your hottest take out of all 5 games? I think was the McKinney thing a joke?
One of the games, McKinney will score 20 points. That is my bold take. I'm telling you, dude. It's going to happen. There's going to be like a foul trouble or something. Or he's just going to get time over Wes Matthews, which is what I hope. He's going to come in. He's going to hit like 4 threes.
Yeah.
Lock down.
Yeah.
Trae Young.
Hey,
what like they did when we were younger. I remember Matt came off the bench and we were playing against this team that had this guy we couldn't stop that we played in previous games, a really good point guard, and our coach just put in Matt's mission in that game was to just shut down that player. And that's all. Matt, you didn't even do anything on offense, and we put him in, and he shut him down, dude. Such good lockdown defense, dude.
Clamps.
That kid was so frustrated. Didn't he get a technical too?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I remember him getting really frustrated. You got him so frustrated.
That was the last time I played good defense. I stopped playing defense after that. But I think my hot take is I want to look at that Timberwolves game. I think Kuzma scores 30 tomorrow.
Okay. Like it.
That's my hot take against
Like
the
that.
Timberwolves. Yeah, we have about 7 minutes left, so let's do a little bit of around the league news, like I like to do. I had a few things here, but most importantly, this is just a fun little thing. Blake Griffin was sitting on the Nets bench, and they were playing the Pistons, and the Pistons scored, and he started clapping for the Pistons. I'll send you the link. It's pretty funny. Like on accident, they scored. The Pistons scored, and he just got to the Nets, and he was on the bench, and they scored, and he clapped for a second, and he realized he wasn't on the team. Yeah.
What the heck? I didn't see that.
But I don't know how close of attention you pay to the standings, but Max, the Sixers are in first place in the East. Give me a couple words about the Sixers.
Well, Joel Embiid just got injured pretty bad. He's out for I think 2 to 4 weeks, if I remember correctly, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's going to hurt them a little bit. They're going to have to go through kind of what we're going through with no AD because he is their team. We luckily have LeBron James, but AD is a lot of what we do and our offensively and defensively, kind of like Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is even more valuable because he's literally their heart and soul of that team. So with him, I mean, the way he's playing, they're tough to beat. So I think they're gonna be contender. I hate to say this, but I really think it's gonna be the Nets, Sixers. I know that's such a cop out. Well, obviously those are the two best teams in the East, but I just really think it's gonna be them. I really do, and
yeah.
I don't really know what's going to happen there. I kind of need to see what happens in the buyout market and kind of see where the teams are at the end of the season and kind of into the playoffs maybe even a little bit. But, so that's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, I think...
They're a good team.
I mean, hey, even, Ben Simmons stepped up last night. They got the W anyways. The head page, or the headline of NBA.com is... Sixers rise despite Embiid injury, so who knows, man.
He's a great defender.
Yeah, you like Ben Simmons, don't you?
I do. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I think he's a solid defender. The shoal shooting thing really irritates me for some reason.
Figure it out?
It just bothers me, dude. It's what are you doing? How do you just not if you can just become a good shooter, it changes so much for you. I don't get why I feel like he just feels like he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
But it's dude, just work on your shot. You don't even have a bad, mechanics. It's embarrassing, dude. You can't be a point guard and just never shoot. You can't shoot a three. What? How do you not know how to shoot a three, dude? What? Remember even a Josh, what was that guy's name? Oh my god, I'm blanking. He was on the oh my gosh, I forgot his name.
Josh?
I think it was Josh something. Anyways, just there's been a lot of players Zach
Josh
Randolph.
McRoberts?
No, Zach Randolph, when he came into the league, couldn't shoot. Just didn't know how to shoot. And he became one of the best 15 foot from the basket shooters in the game, ever.
Yeah.
Guy was automatic. There's no excuse, dude. I don't know. You're a point guard, dude. Come on. Even Magic Johnson could knock down the three, and shoot free throws. It's so frustrating. But I mean, I think he's so valuable to that team just because he could lock up, and you just put him on the other team's best player, and he'll just lock him up. So. He has his values.
Other thing I wanted to quickly acknowledge is we didn't get to play him, but Karis LeVert's making his debut.
Oh, yeah.
For the Pacers. He had cancer, which is crazy.
Yeah, good for him, man.
They said that the trade actually probably not saved his life. Probably,
dude, because the physical.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's a blessing.
I'm so happy for him, man, and I love him. I love his game. I think he's an absolute stud. I think he'll be an all-star someday. I really do believe that.
Yeah. And then one minor thing. Our boy Svi Mikhailuk is headed to the Thunder.
Oh yeah.
For Hamidou Diallo and a
such a random
future second round. Yeah, like how do they come up with these trades?
I don't even know what to think of that, dude. I really don't even have a comment. I mean, whatever. I just feel like it's not going to make a difference in any, like, nothing's going to change from that. Like, the teams are going to just be the same, like.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, but we hope the trade deadline is coming up in a week, right? 10 days away. So hopefully we see some action and we can talk about it. Although this season was already like a big thing. But we only have about a minute left, guys. So I want to wrap things up. Both predict 3-2. Kuzma 30 against the Timberwolves. Max says McKinney is gonna have 20 at some point.
Yeah. Or he's just gonna have a really good game. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Like that might be a little more reasonable. He's gonna have a really good game.
All right. And we hope Wes Matthews doesn't play anymore. And So make sure you follow us, guys.
Yeah,
go ahead, Max.
Follow us on Twitter, especially. I want to make sure we get it in at Lens Lakers, LENS Lakers, one word. Please follow me. I run the Twitter account. Matt runs the Instagram at. You want to tell him?
At Lakers Lens Podcast. Don't forget about Spotify, guys. If you're in the car, you don't want to like be looking at YouTube or there's ads or whatever, just go on Spotify, type in Lakers Lens Podcast.
Yes, sir.
And
go Lakers
play in the background
tonight, dude. Yeah. Let's go. Let's get a W. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
Let's take care of business. We got 4 seconds, 3 seconds. All right, guys, take it easy.
See you.
Peace.